Thank you, Bob. I had a really great conversation at lunchtime with someone who asked a really good question, and I was so grateful that she did. She wanted to know from the two dreamers, Jackie and Hugo, what's changed for you? Because of course, here we are showing this paradigm of mythology that wants to keep us from who we are and our real self, supported by the archetypal realm, by the animus. But what does this mean? You know, here we are enacting the dream, but what does this really mean in our lives? I mean, why do this? You know, I mean, it's really a great way to spend Saturday afternoon, but why are people spending a lot of time delving into their dreams and finding out who they are and going through this process that Marc referred to as dying to self, which is about the parts of you that are not you falling away and dying. We use that term in a way because it's true, because often figures will come in our dream and that represent the mythology, you know, after some kind of work, they actually die the way they did in Jackie's dream, which was great. So I want to invite, first of all, Jackie up here to speak to us about what's changed, because clearly you're someone who's done a lot of work and you've had these dreams. And would you be willing to come up and just let people know something about what's changed that would show why you would do this? So come on up.
I think when I first came and started to do it, I had been always seeking dream work. I just have these incredible dreams once or twice a year that knock me off my feet ever since I could remember. But when I first came to the dream work, within about 6 months, Marc and I agreed that I was angry and frightened, and that's mostly what I felt. And I was really shut down to my feelings. And I had had some early trauma, and I learned to cope by becoming uber mother and uber professional woman. So as the dream work started to evolve, I found myself suddenly like just being overwhelmed by these feelings, which would make me just stop. And time stood still, and I began to discover who I was again. And I guess I didn't know how lost I was from myself until I started feeling more deeply. And it's helped me so much to be a kinder person, to our marriage is much better. We really are just so close now, my husband and I. I don't jump and run up someone professionally at work and be on top and in control of everything. I just sort of let it roll by. And I'm beginning to really be in touch with the greater powers that I completely had forgotten were up there.
Thank you, Jackie. Hugo, do you want to say something? Thank you, Jackie. It's a vulnerable thing to come up and speak about what's changed in your life. So you got to know a little bit about Hugo, and you talked about shame and compulsiveness, but share something, Hugo, about what's become richer in your life.
How to say it in a few words, but I was very proficient at dealing with shame, guilt, fear, management, control. And it's also depressing. It's no fun, wearying, doesn't lead to good relationships. And I can now see that. So, sure, pathology still has a strong hold on me. Those habits are really etched very deeply in me. And I am I'm increasingly aware when that's happening. I'm often lost and confused, but that's okay now. Certainly my relationship with my wife has improved dramatically. I can better understand our daughters, our grandchildren. Long hair.
Yeah!
I never had long hair. It was always cut, controlled, managed. And I got the message about a year ago, and I attribute this to the child self. Hey, let it grow. So I said, all right, we're going to let it grow. And it's fun. So I think I'm having more fun in life. It's still a struggle. Pathology is extremely crafty, devious. It's amazingly powerful. It's always there, and I have to recognize it. I went through this week, and I realized last night I was angry, and I sat down with my journal, and I wrote, and I realized what the anger was all about. The pathology was angry at me for going in a certain direction. It didn't want me to go there, and it was bringing up anger. Once I wrote that, and I told Cynthia about it, whew, felt a lot better. The energy was back. Things were flowing. So it has made a tremendous difference.
That's great. I was dying to know what direction you were going in. Did you all want to know? Like, what was happening?
Last night?
Well, you said you were going in a certain direction, the pathology didn't want you to, and so you got angry. Oh dear.
I'll make this one brief. Our eldest grandson in Phoenix is graduating from high school. My ex-wife is going to go and stay with his parents, my daughter. So we were not invited to be there. But Cynthia and I wanted to be at the graduation. So we told his grandson we wanted to be there. He said, great. We told his mother we wanted to be there, and she said, fine. We were just going to fly in, stay in a hotel, and not interfere with their lives, with my ex, who was going to be at their house. And 2 daughters asked me not to go. And I got very righteous. I'm not going to let my ex control my life, and a whole big scene. And finally it came down with Marc's help. 2 of my daughters have asked me not to do this. And whether it's right or wrong, crazy or not, they've said, Dad, please don't go to Phoenix for graduation. And I'm just boiling inside. I want to be at my grandson's graduation, but I'm not going to be there. And I've come to, it's been a real learning experience for me. And the pathology said, you're right, go tell him, go show him, give him a lesson, you'll straighten your ex out, you'll straighten your daughters out. And I'm not going to straighten anybody out. I'm just going to create habit. And that's a lot of turmoil this last week. And without the help of Dreamwork, I don't know what would happen, but I think this is going to work out fine. Maybe I'll lose a battle to win a war or whatever. Dreamwork, it's there every day, and the challenge for me is to be in touch with the feelings and realize I'm not alone. I don't look to anybody else for support. The animus is the one to whom I can get support. It's a hard, hard lesson, and it doesn't always work. It takes a while to get there, but it's very rewarding, and it feels good when it happens. And I want more of it.